Immediately, I think specifically about learning some more of church history that I wasn't as aware of or knowledgeable of. And not just in a general church or some specifics, especially around the Great Awakening and how Whitefield and Wesley really coupled passionate, zealous affinity and affection for God and prayer, as well as really good organization and strategy in terms of how to reach people. And I was really blown away by some of that, just some of that teaching. And then, the great thing about Porterbrook is that you learn about this history, you have this context, and then you start learning all these pieces that bring it together that are in some of the other topics in terms of like developing your character, how to be missional. And so but having that historical backdrop and then learning some of these strategies and very practical things was just extremely beneficial. And even just a few one-offs I'm thinking about is just like things on character, like this is marriage or this is holiness, and being really convicted, like just really solid teaching, something that you can read in a book or something that you can probably hear on a Sunday, but just when it's so close to you as you're reading and you're going through this and then you're talking about it in a group of 2 or 3, it does more than just reading a book by yourself or hearing it on Sunday. Like you're hashing this out and processing it, and so it just has a way of massaging in a little deeper or a lot deeper. And I can say, just even practically speaking, there's some things that are just different. I live my life differently. Yeah, just launching from what I just said, I think that this is the experience that I had is a potential for anybody who joins Porterbrook. And I think that if somebody is eager to grow, if they're hungry for God and to be able to grow in a community context, which should be everybody who professes faith in Jesus Christ. And I would say, I would say it would be beneficial for most anybody who's interested.
The reason that I wanted to do Porterbrook is because I wanted to come to an understanding of what the philosophy of the Crossway Chapel Network was. That was my primary reason to take it. And so even though I had a foundational understanding of what their philosophy was and what they were thinking, I wanted to have a better and a deeper understanding of that if I was going to be in a leadership role. And so that's what I went into Porterbrook looking for, and I came to understand in a deeper way and a better way of what the philosophy of the Crossway Chapel Network was. And I found that to be true, that when they say that they are gospel-centered, that is in fact what it is. And so I gained a greater knowledge and understanding of that. Missional community life was real foundational in our understanding and in our becoming more missional minded in ourselves through that book.
Yeah, I think probably the most compelling reading that I've done is the missional community reading, which just really challenged my idea of church being this Sunday morning centralized idea to it's much more than that, and it's much more than your once a week Bible studies. It's people living on mission together. It's figuring out how to talk with your neighbors. It's figuring out how to make sure that you're speaking with the baristas or the people checking your groceries for you, or the person at the bank, and inviting them into this community and leveraging the community that you already have in order to bring the gospel to bear on the lives of people where you feel like you're maybe at a standstill with your ability to pour into their lives, and just seeing the way that all works together, and being challenged big time with that. I would say in terms of cohorts and in terms of the church in a much larger context, probably the story that I would point to most readily is there was a gal who I had met with Gary doing not even necessarily Porterbrook stuff, but things that were related to Porterbrook. There was a barista at a Starbucks who we got to know over the course of a few months, just because she saw us getting together, talking about life, praying together, and all these things, and slowly started to gravitate towards us, and a friendship was started. And then before I know it, she's coming to life group on a pretty regular basis, sharing prayer requests, and eventually coming to Sunday morning services as well, and just seeing the way in which the people of God can go into the city and into the culture and influence it, even on this small scale basis. Like, it's one person, but that's one eternal soul being reached for Christ, and just to see that continue to move forward with us as the Crossing, and with all of us as individuals, with those people in our lives that we care about most, is just awesome. And so I hope that if people do Porterbrook, that we see a lot more of that. I would encourage people to participate in Porterbrook next year, because it really shapes your view of what life is all about. It shapes your approach to life. It challenges you with whether it's selfish habits or just preconceived notions of what church is and what life is all about. I would say my life has grown in its intentionality of engaging the lost and speaking with people, but I've also grown in my desire to sacrifice for others, and I've grown in my love for the brothers and sisters who I'm going through these Porterbrook courses with, and just seeing the way in which we're able to encourage each other and grow, and to see different challenges faced, and different sins overcome, and different difficulties being put behind us by the grace of God as He continues to work through the community. It's just helpful overall for your personal life, for community life, for your ability to understand what the Bible has to say about all these things. It's just been really informative, really challenging, but overall really helpful. And that's why I think people should do it.
Jesus cries 'cause He loves them both. We're all castaways in need of rope, hanging on by the last threads of our hope. In a house, a mirror full of smoke, confusion, illusions I've seen. But where did I go wrong? I sang along to every chorus of the song that the devil wrote like a pipe